Merhaba arkadaşlar, sevgili dostlar. Bugün oyunumuza tekrar kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. Önce bir görevlerimizi hatırlayalım. Bunlar yan görevler. Bu iki kıl doktorumuza ilaç bulacaktık. Bu ikisi tamam. Bir de Thelma'yı kimin gözetlediğini bulacaktık. Şurada da ana görevimiz. Lady aç böyle yardım etmek için şantajcıyı tespit et. Önce ana görevimize gidelim. Bir alt katta sanırım. Çıkış yok.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Bu bizim vampir ablamız değil mi?
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time.
Yani tanıt artık kendini bize.
My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Kibarlık yapalım bakalım.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Hadi bakalım.
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know.
Aşağıdaymış.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect.
Harriet bu muymuş?
What? What? What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse, or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their
Bu da ne
legs shut.
terbiyesiz çıktı ya.
I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones, greetings. How...
Again? Waking a poor old woman in her sleep? There isn't a poor life needs saving somewhere?
Now, I need to ask you a few simple questions.
Well, if you really must.
Have you noticed any suspicious comings or goings?
It would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Come now, Miss Jones. Surely it's not that bad.
Have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
If you could just tell me why you were admitted.
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired. Wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones.
Hastalık durumuna bakalım. Sağlıklı. Hemşire Pipa. Neymiş?
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Altta bir şey var. Az çekil.
I met him in New York once.
Açalım duyuları.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Peşinden gidelim bakalım. Hiç tekin gözükmüyor burası ama. Bakalım. Kesin bir şey çıkacak.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
Şunu bir halledelim de. Dikenli sopa. Bakalım hemen. Sersemletme de veriyor. Aman bunu kullanalım biz. Bakalım nasılmış. Kim var yakında? Şurada. Oo, güzelmiş. Sessizce bir yaklaşalım bakalım. İyi, sevdim bu sopayı. Adam zorda yatıyor. Allah, boss geldi. Bu ne?
What sort of creature is this?
Isır ısır. Gücü de gitmiyor ya. Kaç. Pençe atayım. Kaç. Hadi oğlum. Kaç. Allah kahretsin ya.
What sort of creature is this?
Al. Basıyoruz. Pençe. Güzel. Hadi oğlum. Pençe. Güzel. Kenara sıkıştırdık. Kaç. Hop. Basıyoruz. Pençe. Kaç oğlum, kenara sıkışma. Güzel. Hadi. Vurma. Pençe. Kaç. Gücü de gitmiyor ya. Kaç. Hah. Güzel. Vur oğlum. Kaç oraya değil ya. Pençe. Vur. Güzel, bayıl. Tamam. Pençe. Birazdan. Ah, çok iyi. Adamı ne uğraştırdın beni ya. Burada bir şey var mı başka, bakalım.
Here's what... Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
Sen nereden çıktın ya?
This is despicable.
Taraftan gidiyorduk. Buradan. Tehlikeli vatandaş. Gelecek geceyi atlatamıyor. Gidip kontrol et. Kimi kurtaracağız? Şuradaki sana.
I don't want to die here. I want to see the sky, feel the fresh air.
Bir de pençe at. Güzel.
Breathe. I can't breathe.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, Take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. Okay, I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
All right, Mr. Thatcher, you're safe now. Do you think you can reach the street by yourself?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Başı ağrıyormuş. Aspirin yok, kusura bakma kardeşim yanımda. Güzel. Oo, ta buraya mı gideceğiz? White Chapel'e uğraş. Bu şekilde gitsek.
When I get back on top, he's really pissed me off this time. The patience are not.
Risk. Buradan 8 level. Bu bizi döver. Alır mıyız acaba? İyiymiş ya. Hem sersemleti güzel vuruyor ama stamina'yı çabuk bitiriyor. Aha, bir tane o da çıktı. Sen ne yapıyorsun ya? Burada kaç kişi? 18. Acaba bunu öldürebilir miyiz ki? Yok ya, burayla işimiz yok zaten, hiç riske girmeyelim. Açık da bezimiz artsın, öyle geliriz. Açık mı? Açık. Kaç kişi? 3 kişi. Gel.
Not a good place for a stroll. Go on, it's one of them.
Allah senin üçünüz yüzden. Öldü. Ha, gelin. Neyse bari şu şerefsize. Ha, sen de gel. Hadi oğlum. Isır. Tekrar atayım sana. Ne yapıyorsun sen ya? Al. Ölü içerideymiş.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Kaç kişi var?
There's more and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. But the guards recruiting more and more every day. The safer places to be there. Don't come no closer.
Aşağıdan mı gitmemiz lazım? Yok. Mecbur oradan geçeceğiz. Bir de görünmeden geçeriz. Gel. Gel. Oğlum şunu öldür hadi. Tamam. Defense shot. Pençe. Ah, geldi bir tane daha. Pençe at. Güzel. Tam bas. Lan ne ölmez adammışsın be. Vururuz ya.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ad. With blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Nerede sığınak? Böyle döndüğümüz zaman. Ya ben mi körüm?
It's locked, all right.
Tamam, şurada gözüküyor. Yok.
It's locked.
Burası değil. Burada gözüküyor. Nerede? Bulduk. Bench'imize bakalım. Neler yapabiliyoruz? Hani yorgunluk var, anemi. Yapamıyoruz, bunu da yapamıyoruz. Bunu da yapamıyoruz. Tamam. Arttıran. Soğuk algınlığı yapabiliyoruz. Şimdi sepsis neymiş? Soğuk algınlığı yapalım. Biraz yat dinle. Yes. Her gece eyleme. Şimdi şu Whitechapel'e gidelim. Şantajcı kimmiş bakalım. Güvenli evde ne işiniz var ya? Tamam. Şöyle bir gelelim. Nereye geçiyorum ben? Burada da kurt adam var. Gel. Bir alayım senden. O adam dolu her yer ya. Buradan düz gidip böyle çıkmamız lazım. Kaç tane acaba?
Ain't safe here for a gentleman. Go on, off you trot.
Gel gel. Odun yemedim. Bir ana. Gel.
I cannot enter.
Yani ille uzun yoldan götüreceksin.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Hepsi de birbirinden ukala maşallah.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
Yok yani iyi davranacağım buna. Ukala.
Yes, you did. And it was cowardly and inexcusable.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part.
Benjamin bir savaş gazisi. Benjamin'le konuşmadık ki daha.
Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
Vermem sana iksir miksir.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. A coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
Migreni varmış.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see, long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Ne yapalım? İyileştirelim mi seni? Migren tedavisi için ilacımız yok.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
You don't seem well, Benjamin. Do you need any help?
I always feel ill, sir. It's like I'm never right.
Migren ilacımız yok, kusura bakma kardeş.
I will see you later. A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Hiç de anlayacak bir tipe benzemiyor. Boşuna konuşuyor. Neredeymiş bizim? Buradan gideceğiz. Ya şuraya bir minimap koysaydınız sevabına.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Da satıcıymış.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Kişisel sormuş muydu? Falan.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Ne satıyor
I'd like to
bakalım.
see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Satalım, açık para gelsin. Tabaka. Bak. Tanesi var. Bir dursun.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Bu kimdi? Benjamin.
If I could get some work
It
in,
will give you faith again.
O içeride sanırım.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Dinleyemedik adamı. Buradan dinliyoruz.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
İpucu.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Take a look. Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business?
Önce
I have no
ufaktan bir
business.
girelim bakalım.
Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell.
Görevler
Those men
çok.
were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Ne desek ya? Geç.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Soramıyorduk. Ne satıyor?
Right
Bakalım.
then. Show me what you have.
Ve çöplerden çıkıyor. Adam tut. Ya çok da pahalı malzemeler ya. Bir tane alsan 70. Neyse şimdilik dursun, biraz daha para biriktirelim de. Bir adam yok muydu burada?
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Yorgunluk diyor. Ya sen bir tedavi edelim önce.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
Al bakalım sana
You'll feel
ilaç.
better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which... What can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are so...
Durumu ciddi diyor. Kimler hastaymış burada ya? Kaç? İyileşmek. Migren ilacı. Yapmış mıydık? Yapmıştık galiba. Yorgunluk da var. Bronşit için yok ama. Şimdi ne yapıyoruz bakalım. Bakayım. Var mı bir hastalığı? Önce bir tanışalım o zaman.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling, but I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor, Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Ayakkabının yorgunluk. Bunda bir tedavi edelim.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
Al iç
I
bakalım.
am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Demin buralarda bir adam vardı ya. Şununla konuşurken gördüm. Ha, burada.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Ha, bu o çocuğun babası.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
ana görevi yapalım da. Bakarız onun kutusuna sonra. Gene ters gidiyorum ya.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Well, there is no protection against
Aha, bir
malevolence and
manyak da
trickery.
burada ya.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son,
Amma
if you think
saydı.
salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Niye çıkardın beni buraya? Hiçbir şey yok. Şu mu acaba?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Buymuş.
I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well. Goodbye then.
Bir kelime bile etmedi ya. Kitle gibi. Gel.
Oh my God! We have to stop it.
Bu ne ya? Haçlısı, ordusu gibi. Allah, öldürdüler. Nereye gelmişiz? Geri. Yo, böyle. Gelsene ya.
It ain't human. Kill it.
Heh. Gel.
Take a breath of this.
O ne ya, bomba mı atıyor? Aha.
It's a leech.
Ya böyle de gelecek şimdi. Oo, atölye vermiş bu. Biraz kaçacağım. Geliyor mu? Gelmiyor. Fena vuruyor adam. İnşallah bir tek o kalmıştır. 16 direnci. Yakın dövüşe de direnci yok. Gel bakayım.
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Şuradan aşağı ineceğiz. Posta kutusunu buluyor. Nereden bulacağız şimdi ya? Hah.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Richard, Nicker kodu bul. Bul da. Kapılar kilitli. Ters gidiyoruz. Bu da kilitli. Aynen, buradan içeri girmemiz lazım. Bir türlü çözemedim. Buradan acaba içeri mi gireceğiz? Taraftan mı dolaşacağız? Bu deli de hala konuşuyor. Buradan giriş yok. Gazeteci. Oh be, açık bir tane kapı var. Neyse. Aslında hiç tekin gözükmüyor ya. Bakalım. Orada bir şey var. Başka? Nereden çıktınız ya? Ölüyorum. Öldüm. Ha, iyi. Öbür ikisi nereden geldi? Allah aşkına, burada bir şey gözükmüyor ki. Bunu öldürmem lazım. Isır ısır. De iyi güç alıyor. Ya hepsini öldürmeden de şunları lotlayamıyorsunuz, küçük bir şey ya. Mezarlığa geldik. Richard'tır kesin.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Sağlığına bakalım. Soğuk aldım.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear Doctor.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful
Da sıyırmış. Bir tane akıllı adam denk gelmedi ya.
My mother loved poetry. Perhaps your words would have touched her sensitive nature. I only see a dreadful disease.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, The barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Neredeymiş o? Oo. Mevcut Samuel kimdi ya?
Some of us come to this world already touched.
Neredeyse. Nerede akılda kalmıyor ki? Demek ki daha karşılaşmadık. O zaman sığınağımıza gidelim.
I'm cheap and clean. You look so pale,
Came one way or another. Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours for Christ.
Gave me a bottle and
Allah Allah. Ne gelmiş kardeşim? Neresiydi? Labirent gibi yapmışlar. Biraz daha yukarı koysaydın.
It's locked, all right.
Niye kapalı?
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
False faith, imprisoned by your daily routine.
Yok, deli çıkacağım ya.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and I'll be nasty. You look so pale, my lord. Would you like me to...
Soon, time will all be judged for your sins.
Tam karşımda olması lazım. Değil. Of. Bu bölümü de burada bitirelim arkadaşlar. Bir dahaki videoda kaldığımız yerden devam ederiz. Kendinize iyi bakın, oyunsuz kalmayın. Görüşmek üzere.